Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today is tutorial 2 on how to make a timer and a stopwatch with Arduino. And so in today's tutorial, we're going to incorporate an LCD display, and we are going to put or make the first page of our stopwatch and our timer. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and connect up the project. And as you can see, we already have some of the buttons here because we connected that up in our last video. So now we'll go ahead and add our LCD display. So I'll go ahead and put it on the breadboard right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the potentiometer as well on the breadboard. We're going to be using this to control the brightness of the text on the LCD display. So I'm going to go ahead and connect up the potentiometer. So one side of the potentiometer is going to be connected to G and D. Doesn't matter which side it is. Then the other side is going to be connected to positive 5 volts. And then the middle pin on the potentiometer will be going to the VO pin on the LCD display. So now the first pin, the VSS pin, will be going to G and D on the breadboard. And then the next pin, the VDD pin, will be going to positive 5 volts on the breadboard. And then the RS pin will be going to pin 12 on the Arduino. And then the RW pin will be going to ground on the breadboard. And then the E pin will be going to pin 11 on the Arduino. And then we're going to skip 4 pins and go to D4 on the LCD display. And we'll connect that to pin 5 on the Arduino. And then D5 on the LCD display will be going to pin 4 on the Arduino. And then D6 on the LCD display will be going to the digital pin 3 on the Arduino. And then D7 will be going to digital pin 2 on the Arduino. So now we'll go ahead and connect the A pin, which is responsible to provide positive power to the LCD backlight. And so we're going to connect a resistor, as I just did, which is 330 ohms. You can connect a resistor from 200 ohms up to 470 ohms. And then we're going to connect the cathode side of the LED backlight to G and D on the breadboard. And so basically that is the circuit, so go ahead and connect it up, and then we're going to continue on with the code. Okay, so now here is the code, and some of this code has been explained in the past tutorial 1. Feel free to go back if you wanted to understand more of this code, because I'm not going to explain all of it because I've already explained it in the past. Okay, and so basically here is the liquid crystal library. If you want to know more about this library, I have a link down below of a video on how to use the liquid crystal library or how to use the LCD display with Arduino. So basically this is the library that we need to have for the LCD display, which is called liquid crystal. And then we define all the pins that is connected to the LCD display. As you can see right here, these are all the pins that we have connected to the Arduino. And then we give the liquid crystal library all of these pins that we have defined up here. And of course, we also name the LCD display, which in this case, we're going to name LCD. Okay, so now we come down here, and I've kind of already explained all of this from our last video, but the new variables that we have added is last millis 2. So we have added another last millis because you can see what else we do. It basically has still same functionality as last millis. We're just using it for something else, so we need to have another one of these variables. And so then here are all the new variables that we have added into this code. So we have 2 strings, MSG1, this is timer. So basically right when the Arduino starts up, this is going to be the text that's going to be on page 1, which is basically timer. And then below it will be stopwatch right here. So these are the messages that are going to be sent on the LCD display on page 1. Okay, and so then we have int selector position. And so basically what we have here is this is going to tell us where the selector is supposed to go, because whenever we open up the page, at first there's not going to be any selector that's going to be pointing at the specific selector that we want to go to. But when we press the button, it will go to timer, saying that we will choose timer. If we press the other button while the selector is pointing at this message timer, then we will go to the page for the timer. If the selector is pointing at the stopwatch message, then it's going to go to the stopwatch page. And so basically this would tell it where the selector is supposed to go. So this is going to be basically holding 0, 1, 2, those three numbers. So 0 means nothing, it's not going to be pointing at anything, it's not going to even be on the page. 1 means that it's going to be pointing at timer, and then 2 means it's going to be pointing at stopwatch. And then we have a selector on and off. So whenever the selector is pointing at one of these right here, either timer or stopwatch, it will be blinking to show you that it's pointing at these messages saying that do you want to go to the timer page or the stopwatch page. So the selector on off will tell us if the selector should be turned on or off. And so this number will be going back and forth to true and false, because as you can see it's a boolean. So we go to true, false, back and forth, because the selector will be turning on, and off. And so then we'll go into the void setup, and we go ahead and we just set up the LCD display. That's the only thing we have changed in here. And so then we'll go ahead and go into the void loop, and we have done this last time. The button reader function will give us true or false, on or off, if the button has been pressed and we have fully let go of it. That means if this value is true, that means we need to do something, because we have done a full action of pressing and letting go of the button, meaning that we want something done with it. Okay, and so basically that's what we do. We just read, we have the button reader function work to detect and read the buttons. And so then we have if millis minus bd dot last millis 2. So we're just going to basically calculate this up, and this is going to give us how long ago we came into this if statement, because as you can see we make last millis 2 equal to millis right when we get out of right before we get out of this if statement. And we're going to make sure that this right here, whatever this gives us at the end of subtracting last millis 2 from millis, then if that value is greater than 500, then come into this statement. So this means that we'll only come into this statement every 500 milliseconds, or every half a second. And we'll come in here and do page 1 printer. So this is going to print page 1 on the LCD display, and we're going to give it BD, and we're also going to receive BD as well. And so now I'm going to go ahead and go to the page 1 printer, and this is it right here. This is just all of it right here. And so as you can see, we have my data saying that it's going to be returning a struct. That is my data, and then we're also going to be receiving the struct my data, and we're going to put BD in there. And so then we go ahead and clear the LCD display, make sure all the old information is wiped off and clean, and then we're going to go ahead and print our new data. So first we just set a cursor, and this will position the first message on the LCD display where it needs to be. And then we go ahead and just print it out on the LCD display, which is MSG1, which in this case is timer. And then we do set cursor, and we set the cursor to column 3 and row 1, which means it's just the next row down, and we'll go ahead and print MSG2 on the LCD display, which in this case would be stopwatch. Okay, and so after that, we have printed all of that out. So then we'll go ahead and come to this statement, and we're going to say if BD dot selector on or off. So in this case, we're going to come into this statement only if the selector on and off variable is true. Okay, so then we come into this switch statement right here, and we're going to do selector pos. So now that we have determined that we need to turn on the selector, now we're going to try to figure out where the selector should be going, and that's what selector pos is going to be giving us. It's going to be giving us to where we should put these selectors, if they should be pointing at timer or stopwatch. So then we come to this case 1. So if selector position is 1, which means we should be pointing at timer, then come into this case statement, and we do set cursor at column 1, row 0. So this will set the cursor right before the message of timer. And so then we go ahead and print this marker right here, which is the less than symbol, and this is going to be before the timer message. And then we go ahead and set cursor to column 10, row 0. So this is going to be at the end of timer. So we go ahead and print the greater than symbol. So these two symbols are going to be before and after the message of timer. So then we have case 2. So basically, if selector position is 2, then we need to put the symbol, the less than greater symbol, on the sides of stopwatch. So we go ahead and do set cursor to row 1, and then we go ahead and print the less than symbol, and then we go ahead and set the cursor to column 12, row 1, and then we go ahead and print the greater than symbol, and then we go ahead and break out. And so basically this is what this is going to do, is if the greater than symbols should be printed, if they need to be turned on, then they'll be turned on, and if they aren't, the Arduino is not even going to come into this statement, which means we're only going to print out the messages and nothing else. But if both of these are not true, then we go into this default statement and not going to do anything but break out of it. So we're still not going to print anything on the LCD display, but just the messages. Alright, and then after this, then we come out of this if statement and we go ahead and print on serial monitor. This is just for test, but yeah. So now we do selector on off equals not selector on off. So basically this is just gonna change the opposite of selector, on off. So basically if it's true, then it's gonna be false. If it's false, then it's gonna be true. So we're just swapping the values so that next time it's the opposite, so that we can consistently blink the selectors. Alright, and then we just return the BD. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our main code here. So now you know what we do in page 1 printer function. So now what we do here is we make last millis 2 equal to millis, so that we come into this statement every 500 milliseconds, which means we're only going to come into this function every half a second. So that means that the selectors are going to be blinking and speed up in half a second every time. Okay, and now we'll come down here and we say if BD on or off 1. Okay, so basically if this is true, meaning that we have pressed and fully let go of the button, then come into this statement, because if this is true, that means we need to do action because we have pressed button 1. Alright, and when we have pressed button 1, that means that the selector needs to move down to the next selection. So what we do here is we go ahead and say if selector position is less than 2, then come to this statement. So if its selector position is like 1, then we'll come to this statement. But if it's equal to 2, then it will not come into this statement. It will come into this else statement and make selector position equal to 0, because we only have 2 options on the LCD display. So if we have like a 2 and we're trying to increment selector position to 3 now, we can't do that because it's not a third selection. So we want to go ahead and do selector pos back to 0, starting all over. Then after that, we come out of this if statement, and also we may come out of this else statement. And so then we also do this, make them equal to on off 1 equal to false, and on off or off 2 equal to false as well. And so basically this is the code. So now we'll go ahead and see our project in action. Okay, so now here's the project. Now as you can see, right on the LCD display, we have timer and then stopwatch below it. And so if I click this button, which is button 1, we're not doing anything with this button yet, but right now we're just using button 1. And so I'll go ahead and press the button. And as you can see, the greater than and less than symbol are both blinking next to the message timer. Which means next time, whenever we incorporate this button, if we press this button, then we'll go to the timer page. Now, if we go ahead and press it again, then the selector goes down to the stopwatch message, which means that if we press this button, then we will go to the stopwatch page. Now, right now we haven't incorporated any functionality to this button, but in the next video we will, or in the next tutorial. So basically that is this project so far. And so if you like this video, consider giving this video a like. Also comment down below if you have any questions, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all and have a great day. Bye.